Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're gathered here with Anastasiia and Lois, Christine, and myself, Lauren, and we're going to explore with Anastasia's skillful guidance what may be in store for us as we approach Gemini season, which begins very soon on the 20th of May and concludes on the 20th of June. And as Anastasiia shares with us from her perspective. We'll hear from Christine about the human design gates and get a high level of how those two different lenses come together and how they might be different. And Lois and I have the really delightful job of listening and just seeing what fits together in our mind and what might those experiences be, because I think how we experience these periods varies dramatically, but knowing that before it arrives helps us prepare and be more resilient as it comes. So Anastasiia, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Hello, and I'm glad to join you again. And do we want to review this past Taurus season that we had and see how it was different with all of us? Mm, I'll probably remind what was going on, what we were expecting. So Taurus season was all about pressure and finding forms under pressure. It was a time to focus on what truly matters, to ground ourselves and take care of the material side of life, including our bodies. And many of us might have also felt a longing for stability and found ourselves prioritizing practical matters more than usual. So, how was it with you? What were the findings?
Yeah, I'll dive in. I definitely felt the pressure, definitely felt the need for stability. And I found myself looking often at how my day unfolds and how to organize my day. And throughout those 4 weeks, there was a lot of experimenting and well, that didn't go so well. And let me try this. And some of that comes really natural because we're moving from this time of being inside and doing inside projects to moving, particularly in my life, moving outdoors and doing outdoor projects. And how do we still do the practical things when we're outdoors? So there was a lot of that. I also had at least two really clear downloads of, yes, this is how I'm going to solve that issue. Like, and it's something that I feel very pressured about and getting a clear solution. I didn't have the energy yet to act on it. It didn't feel like I had the resources to put it all together right now, but the clarity arose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. From my side, I did feel the pressure, but I escaped some of it because I went on vacation. So I got some much needed sleep and actually managed to slow down, which is in line with the period. And coming back was a bit challenging. I'm still not entirely back, trying to keep the pace slow. But this period was about this well-being, about physical well-being as well. So I think I took care of it, and the reset was worth it. And funny enough, some things I hadn't managed to finish before leaving somehow fell into place while I was away.
Wow.
Yeah, as if my efforts caught up with me. And so I thought, yeah, taking care of my well-being is really, it pays off. It's what I have to do. And yeah, and speaking of well-being, during this Taurus season, I also launched a new project in collaboration with my friend, a Gemmotherapist. We offer now an individual health report that combines astrological insights based on one's natal chart with holistic health recommendations. So that's also a big step into physical well-being. And for a long time, this was only an idea, and now we have given the form through it. So I'd say in many ways, this past season truly was about this mastering ideas into material reality, forming the ideas in material. That's how I felt it, and I was glad to escape the pressure. and, and I didn't see too much stability in this period because I had to move a lot and also moving in vacation because we were just on a journey. But still, it was a lot about forming something special, something physical, material, and seeing how ideas come true. So that's how it was with me. Does anybody else want to share?
I could. The instability is like it's like being surrounded by instability everywhere and finding myself needing to find times and spaces just to take myself away from that. So I guess like in that looking after myself and the health and well-being aspect of things. But it was when you were talking about things coming to formulation, it's interesting that things that I've been thinking about and are working on just recently haven't been manifesting, but things that were more coming out of the past, all of a sudden they just sort of landed, which was, and I'm sitting there going, what happened? But I guess it was just time.
It was time to end the past and to start something new. So it was a transitional time. So it's so interesting that you felt it.
Yeah, it definitely felt transitional for me. I was moving mostly all of the season. I was moving from Texas up into New Hampshire for a while, and then from New Hampshire I moved to Maine, and so it does not it like I think about this earthy energy of Taurus, and I was not feeling, or was I physically grounded, right? I was really just moving. So it was interesting. And I did feel a bit of a pressure to be moving, right? Like I do want and have wanted to not be in Texas and but the process of not being in Texas requires a lot of driving, right? And then there's a lot of pressure to just, you know, be be gone essentially. So yeah, it was interesting. I think it was mostly opposite of what probably I should have been doing in Taurus energy, but it all worked out.
That's a good example of how the rules are not one for everyone. We all are individuals, and you have your own personal way. You have your natal chart, you have your stars, and they said that you should be moving. And maybe it's also about finding this ground. You were trying to find the ground, but you had to move for this. So it's yeah. Oh, okay. Should we jump into the sun in Gemini? Oh, okay. So as the sun moves into Gemini on May 20th, we are entering a dynamic period. Christine, I hope this will not mean that you will move more, but it is a dynamic period of social connectivity, of mental agility, of communication, because Gemini is an air sign ruled by Mercury, representing communication, learning, and adaptability. So during this season, we usually feel more inclined to talk, to share ideas, to explore new topics, and engage in stimulating conversations. It's a period where our minds move faster, and we are naturally drawn to multitasking and connecting with others. So in daily life, this can manifest as a desire to diversify our activities, to pick up new hobbies, to learn something new. This is a season, it's a season all about ideas, movement, adaptability. But it's important to remember that the energy shifts as Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, transitions through three different stages. So we will have to go through three different Sun and Gemini phases. And phase 1 is quite short. It starts on May 20th and ends on May 25th. It's only 6 days. And during these first few days, Mercury is still in Taurus when the Sun is already in Gemini. So we may feel a bit slow and deliberate in communication. Taurus is pragmatic. It focused on stability, which can feel at odds with Gemini's fast-paced and airy nature. This can lead to frustration when ideas don't manifest as quickly as expected. Still, Mercury, while in Taurus, is moving fast. Taurus is slow, but Mercury is itself fast. So I would also expect that the practical ideas pertinent to Taurus, they find their way faster. So this main challenge is the conflict between speed and thoroughness. But the best approach is to embrace patience, focus on practical, methodical tasks that benefit from thorough planning. Attention to detail is also important. It's also quite a creative time because we still will have this supportive trine between Mars and Venus, but they are not the major players of the period. The major player, I believe, is still Mercury, and it's time to ground ideas before sharing them. And also any grounding exercises such as walking or mindful cooking, something so simple that makes us feel that we are here on the ground. They can help align the fast mental pace of Gemini with Taurus' steady rhythm. So the main idea of this early Gemini season of these 6 days is practicing patience and stay practical. And we may feel a bit stuck or slow in processing ideas. And here I would also ask Christine probably, how does human design address moments when this mental energy feels sluggish or blocked? And how do you see this period in human design?
Well, it's fascinating because it's really exactly every word you're using is a word I would have used for this sun transit in this 20th to the 26th in that area of May. Because the sun will be in gate 20 in human design, it's called the now. It is the most present of the gates, but our Earth position is in gate 34, which when those two come together, they form a channel called the channel of charisma, which is the fastest moving channel in the body graph. So for those days, that channel will be lit up in everybody. And it's a really impatient energy. It really wants to move fast and do things. It wants to skip steps. It essentially makes everybody on the planet a manifesting generator. So, right. So I would expect that even though I heard that it's a great time to slow down and be patient and, think through things, I would expect that a lot of people are going to be feeling this. This is a sacral energy directly to the throat. They're going to be feeling this need to make things happen and maybe do things impatiently that could be really powerful and hard to resist.
That's amazing. Yeah. I can only imagine 8 billions. How many people live on Earth?
Yeah, like 8 billion people manifesting generators. Not good.
Let us survive.
Yeah.
I get this image of like an anthill and all the ants going in, but going in different directions and not communicating. I'm wondering so I can imagine what this will feel like, but maybe some practical thoughts, and maybe Lois, this is even your input, is as these ideas come up, right? And they come to the surface and we have that urge to go, maybe a practice that would help us.
Yeah. Was it just like sort of feeling this tension you're talking about between I have to go, I have to do, and then, oh, I actually need to be patient here. And it's just, I just think that just pausing, because I mean, you're not going to get a big practice into this territory. And it's got to be quick and dirty, right? So I think just like when feeling the pull is just take a moment, just take a couple of breaths, and just see what then comes after that. Because those couple of breaths can just settle you in, ground you, like you said, Anastasiia, and can make the world look different.
Mhm. Yeah, sounds practical.
Yeah.
You know, I can't help but say this. We haven't done this before, but Lithy would be the perfect Gemmo for this period because one, Lithy slows down and regulates our breathing, but it also slows us down to communicate more clearly. So there's something around that that just feels like that might be useful during that short period for folks.
And I'd also say, you know, Anastasia had asked about the mind energy. And so this, again, this is a very sacral energy, this time period. Everybody's sacral is going to be lit up. And that is this true gut instinct, which gives everybody a bit of clarity around yes or no. Like, yes, I really want to do this thing, or no, I don't. And so it might be a great time too in this, you know, as you're pausing and taking a couple breaths, just checking in with that sacral and being like, what is my embodied response here, right? And not so much in my mind. Not following the thing that I think I should do or the fast acting that I feel like I, you know, need to do, and just be more grounded in that embodied wisdom, since it will be on and, you know, doubly on, right? There'll be other activations through these transits for everyone.
Good. So we are getting closer to phase 2. It's a longer period. It's the longest period in the entire Gemini season when Mercury enters Gemini. It lasts from May 25th till June 8th. And this is the most vibrant period. Mercury returns home to Gemini. It's the ruler of the Gemini. And we can expect a burst of mental clarity, quick thinking, and desire of social interaction. And communication flows effortlessly, hopefully. This phase is perfect for learning new skills or initiating community events. It is good for students. It's also good for teachers. I personally plan to start my astrology forecasting course during this time as well. So if you are a teacher or if you are a student, just take your time and use it. Use it because you can have so much more input. You can gather so much more ideas and information, useful information that you can structure good. Well. And the key moments in this period are very important. One of them is new moon in Gemini. It is on May 27th. Last time I told a little about why new moons are so important. They give some starts for us. And this time it's a start in communication, innovative thinking, in creative projects. So the day of new moon is excellent to set intentions around communication, learning, and social. And since Mercury supports this lunation, it doesn't happen often. We can set the intentions around gaining clarity and improving verbal expression or launching new projects. So focusing on goals related to such things and also to writing, to public speaking, to teaching, or expanding your social circle, or going into some new social circles is really a good idea. Just don't forget to actually perform some actions on your plans because this new moon supports activity. It is not enough to say, oh, I will learn Japanese. Just go and learn it. We set intention and we do it. And then on May 29th, we have another cycle to begin. It's a Mercury conjuncting the Sun. And it's a moment of insight and also new beginnings connected to our mind and to our plans. Consider the Sun as the king and Mercury as the messenger. So they conjunct, and Mercury takes an important message from the Sun and then shares it with us. And as a messenger, Mercury may bring almost anything. It can be good news, bad news, chaotic information, important information, not important information. So it is important to process all this informational flow and not to get lost in it. I don't remember, unfortunately, who said this, but somebody said that our brains are for creating ideas and not for storing them, not for holding and keeping them. And I love this saying because it is an excellent slogan for Mercury in Gemini. I was born with Mercury in Gemini, so I know what I'm talking about. I have managed some habits and some routines to manage all this informational flow. And I have a habit to write down or voice record ideas that come and organize them later. This is the so-called second brain. Such second brain helps keeping the thoughts flowing without overwhelming the mind. And this could be especially helpful for someone if you're not used to live in this energy of informational flow. And it is important not to let the ideas go past you during this period. Don't think, oh, this is not my piece of cake. I can't stand it. It's too much for me. Take everything that comes, catch all these ideas. Just don't process them immediately. It's like fishing. You fish, but you don't necessarily eat the fish immediately. You put it in a basket, and that's the strategy I suggest for the period. Just gather the basket of this fish, of the ideas, and then you will have time to process it. It's okay if you don't take everything, just write it down. Well, that's how I would go with it. I don't know, maybe you have any advice on how to go around processing ideas and lots of information. Do you have any practices from your side? Anything?
Well, I think your thoughts on like taking them and gathering them. So a person having a process that works for them to actually gather the thoughts. But then I think there needs to be something that's a practice that says it's okay not to do anything for it right now. That actually that this is part of my process.
Yeah.
Is to let that sit. It's like writing a letter that you're not sure about and putting it in a drawer and waiting before you send it, so it's like just recognizing that taking the time could change what you want to do or change how you look at this new idea. And like you said, then being able to sort out like taking all of those ideas out and taking a look at them and then saying, well, these ones don't really resonate with me. These ones really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you summarized it perfectly. When we have these ideas, that's I noted every year when Mercury is in Gemini that there are so many ideas during this time, but then not all of them will work for you. And it may even happen that you find these ideas and go back to them in 2 months, in 4 months, in half a year, and they may not be pertinent to you at this time, but they may be useful later. So that's a good way to put it, really.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go for it, Lauren.
Well, just quickly, I have a whiteboard in my kitchen, and my ideas typically come when I'm cutting up vegetables or cooking. And so, I know this period well, because I used to deal with it when I was a practitioner, and I would keep a big white pad where I just fill it. But I like to see things visual. There's something about, okay, I wrote that up. And so just making almost like a grocery list of the ideas for me has been super helpful. And the fact that, okay, it's there, it has a home, I don't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say I feel like I'm the voice of like sounds great, but right now all of Gemini season is, and this is unusual in the human design mandala, every single one of these gates is a throat gate, throat energy, which is our manifestation energy, right? And so this is the how our creativity gets expressed in the world. This is where all the energy in our body from our head up through our embodied wisdom comes to fruition. And so this is a really fertile time for these creative ideas, and we're all expressing this, right? We all have experience with that. And I will also say it may be tricky to sit on them, right? So again, it's this intentional practice of recognizing the creativity that's coming forth and not feeling the pressure to actually make something in particular happen with all of that creative energy, right? So just a good reminder that yes, all these things are going to be coming forth, and no, they don't all have to be activated and acted on at once, even though you might literally be feeling that pressure to do that. Everything has its divine timing, right? This whole trusting that it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And I will say, in the end of like the same period that we were all manifesting generators, overlapping that, we all actually have this initiation channel, which is this connection from our heart to our higher knowing, right? And it has this kind of shocking energy. It is also a very creative energy. And so maybe even more things going on for us this season than in past seasons, because this is Venus and Jupiter coming together in this channel of initiation, really wanting to bring forth new things in for really important reasons, right? I mean, Jupiter and Venus, I mean, I don't know much, but I know that's a nice combination. So anyway, I just think that we're all going to be experiencing a lot more energy than a collective energy, right? That's going to be part of our own experience in a way that might just be good to keep in mind, because I think it's going to feel personal when it might not actually be personal.
That's true. That's true. It's time to express. It's time to share. I'm just talking about people who listen to what we share
Yeah.
with them, and they maybe not ready to receive all this flow.
Yeah.
And that's what we are, and we will also hear something that, because everyone wants to express, everyone is a manifesting generator. What are we going to do with them? We need to process this somehow, and we may not have enough time to process it. So just don't be confused with it. And then we have this from June 3rd to June 8th, we have this good sextile between Mercury and Mars. And that's when communication becomes assertive. Yet it allows for efficient conflict resolution, and I hope it helps to coordinate the ideas and thoughts and our actions, so we can really think and do, not vice versa, do and then think. And so it may be very productive during this time. And also on June 7th and 8th, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter. And this is also an opportunity for expansive thinking and positive communication. I see that this period is really productive. It's just not everyone is used to so much air and so much movement. So yeah, it's really good time to initiate conversations, network, sharing ideas, engaging in group activities,
Mhm.
and beginning new projects, especially after May 27 and May 29th. These are good dates.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just that Gemini is often seen as a sign of duality. It is dual. It
Mhm.
really is. And its dual nature can lead to feeling pulled in different directions. So, to balance this, it's essential to prioritize tasks rather than trying to handle everything simultaneously. And it's good to create a structured plan for daily activities. This can help channel this scattered energy into productive outcomes. And these practices of journaling, of writing down on the whiteboard or in the your handy, or handy, that's German, in the phone, or mind mapping, that can help organize thoughts and maintain focus. It's also important that, as you said, it's throat energy. Gemini is all about throat and breath as well. So it's good to use active breath work. It's also about our voice. So any vocal exercises, they can also harmonize mental and physical energy. So yeah, I see it's a good time. It's good time for finding solutions because suddenly you can see how it can be solved. Because here's a bunch of ideas, and one of them may work. It's good for brainstorming, good for teams to exchange ideas. It's also good for chatting, flirting, light-hearted interactions. There is something in the air that you can catch. Just remain open to spontaneous ideas, and it will come. Even if you are the type of person that prefers to stay home alone, prefers silence, and is absolutely grounded, and this lightheartedness, it will not hurt you. You may even notice that you're not as tired of communicating as usual. It's just that perhaps we should be selective, careful with choosing who to talk to, who to listen to. When everyone is speaking, just let's choose who we want to listen to. Um, that's how I see this period.
Yeah, I'll just add really quickly that this June 1st to 7th is a time where the channel of transitoriness is lit up again. There's a bunch of channels that are lit up for the entire population in this Gemini season. I feel is an unusual amount. And so this transitoriness, 35, gate 35 to gate 36, is all about new experiences, right? And if I had one thing that I would say about Gemini, this whole Gemini season through the lens of human design, almost every transit activation is on the right side of our body graph, which is all about new experiences, right? It wants new experiences. And this particular energy is an emotional energy connected to, again, directly to the throat. And so, yes to everything that you said, and it may feel more emotional. It may feel like, if you're like me and used to not having emotional authority, it may feel a bit muddy and cloudy. You may not know exactly how you feel about things. And nobody else does either, right? So again, this is this large activation. So just being aware that we're all seeking new experiences right now, and a new way of doing things. I think a lot of this collective push to come into new ways of doing things is going to be really interesting to watch in this period, especially this second half of this Mercury. I mean, I'm sorry, this Gemini season.
Yeah, that's we decided that we don't introduce to long-term periods, very long-term periods, but I cannot avoid saying it. Because as you said, that we are going to experience something new. That's a period of gathering new experiences, and that's exactly the time when two big planets like Jupiter and Saturn are changing signs, and they're changing signs for 2.5 years, Saturn, and for a year, Jupiter. So it's really a start of a long-term period, and it's a start of a new energy. And we may really feel it immediately. I just don't want to dive into it in too much detail, just to keep it that uh, it is the start of something new. It is the start of something new for the societies because those planets are social, but it's also the start of something new for each of us because we are the part of societies. So yeah, watch out for interesting news during this period. They may be not only interesting, they may be showing us that what is going to change for us in the very, very close future. Yeah.
I was wondering if this was sort of preparatory, just as I was listening to you. It's like this little period is getting us ready for something else. But I was
Mm,
also thinking that it would be useful to remember that there's this shift over this period of time from slow to sounds like a bit overwhelming to, oh, things start to settle out and make sense as people are going through it.
yeah, and it's also about finding something, all this information that comes up. It may not be, it's not only on the personal level, the personal ideas that do I want to do this project or do I not to do this, to use this recipe or that recipe. That's not only about that, it's about what's going on in the world. And we will hear something that we will not be able to analyze and predict immediately the consequences. We will have to wait, and that's the time when we should pay close attention to what is said in socially, to what is said in the news, to what is going on a bigger scale, and then we will see how it goes. Just don't get immediately scared or immediately too happy about anything that you hear during this time. Just put it in the basket and wait a little.
Anastasiia, just to return to this, are we talking about that first week of June then?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's Saturn is moving on the 25th of May, and
Okay.
Jupiter is transitioning on the, I guess, 9th or 11th, 9th of June, the 9th of
Okay.
June. So it's in between, but they are so slow, we cannot feel it like this in one day. But the biggest informational flow goes from May 25th till June 8th.
Okay.
So that's when we will hear something important, and maybe later as well. Yeah, later till the end of the Gemini season.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. Transiting into phase 3, right? So I need to see the notes to be careful with the dates. Yeah, the phase 3 is when Mercury moves into Cancer, and this is a 12-day period from June 8th till June 20th. When Mercury enters Cancer, it brings a shift from intellectual expression to emotional articulation. So communication becomes more initiative and sensitive. Ideas might be less structured, but they carry a deeper resonance. We feel them. And this phase encourages sharing personal stories and nurturing conversations. It's a good time to reconnect with family, to discuss feelings, and reflect on what we heard before. However, it's important to avoid taking things too personally. We may be too sensitive during this time, and particularly around June 8th, June 9th, this period starts directly from a square between Mercury and Saturn. So potential communications can be blocked, or we can feel inadequate, some inadequacy in communication, and there is a high risk of criticism, fair or unfair. And even if it's fair, it may hurt because we are so sensitive. So take care of not saying out loud everything you feel like saying. Watch out for red flags, especially with children and family members. They are, it is especially hurtful to hear something from them when they criticize you and vice versa. Later on, Mercury receives support from Venus, so approximately after 11th and 12th of June, the criticism time is over and politeness returns. But before that, watch out. We might feel this some restriction in communicating. And I see this as an opportunity for storytelling, for writing from the heart, for reconnecting with family. It's good to engage in reflective practices like meditation or guided visualization to balance inner dialogue. Inner dialogue now becomes more important than social interaction. So we should focus on nurturing emotional connections and being gentle with ourselves and others as well, and be more present in personal conversations. And there is no more easy flying around as during the previous phase. It's rather digesting all the information gathered during the previous 2 weeks. So after June 8th, it's a good idea to take out the basket, to take the basket out and look through it. Was there anything really important for me? That's the first time when you can really realize what you have heard. That's the first dates. And one important date is full moon. A full moon happens in Sagittarius on June 11th. So take note of this date. It's a culmination of this intellectual journey with insights into personal truth. So on the day of full moon, it is perfect to reflect on how your beliefs shape your actions, and maybe review what you have heard and what ideas you gathered, and see if they match your personality, if they are yes or no with you. It's also good for engaging in philosophical discussions to gain broader perspectives, because it's a full moon in Sagittarius. But still, this lunation, just like new moon, this full moon is also about doing, not just contemplating. So we get a broader perspective, check if it corresponds to our personal beliefs, and then go work on it. So I see this entire season is very active, that we can really do what we want, what we plan. It may not go smoothly for everyone, but at least we can try. And we should not just sit on the couch and wait till success comes itself. So that's how I see it. And which gates are activated around this time, around full moon?
Yeah, well, the full moon will be in gate 11, which is the gate of ideas, right? So everything you said about this mental energy is absolutely true. And the hexagram is peace, right? So it is looking for not just activating ideas, right? It wants ideas that are bringing clarity and results and peace and answers, right? And so this is a place that's in our ajna. This is our place in our mind where we are looking for certainty, right? So just being aware of this full moon may feel more desirous of certainty, but again, what we've just been talking about is we don't know, right? We don't know. We have to stay in this mindset of maybe, right? Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I don't know. So I think it'll be a powerful full moon. And also the other thing that you were talking about, this period of the June 8th-ish to 15th. Well, no, that's not true. It's June 8th to 12th or so for me, from my perspective. That period, the sun is in gate 45 the in the sky. It's in gate 45, which is the only tribal gate in our throat. Our throat is only made up of mostly individual and collective energies, except for this one. And this tribal energy is very much like you were talking about, like what's going on around me closest, who am I supporting, who is supporting me in return, right? Like being really clear about the need for that reciprocal relationship, right? So being aware that we're not only supporting others, right? Which is usually the case, and also allowing and accepting support in return. So just this period of time is kind of a unique moment in this human design piece, just because of this one tribal energy that we have as a manifestation space within us. So it just all maps very closely.
Yeah. So it's not yes, but.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's basically it. So we have these 3 phases. From May 20 till 25th, we have this patience and grounding, and just finishing up the things. I forgot to mention that that's the end of the lunar months, so it's good. It's a good time for finishing everything. And from May 25th till June 8th, it's this vibrant period of air energy. So we should use writing and brainstorming to channel creative thoughts while Mercury is in Gemini, and be open to ideas, gather them, store them, not necessarily digest them. And from June 8th till 20th, we digest the ideas. We measure them against our personal values and prioritize this self-care and supportive communication. It's like, you know, in the airplane, they always say, put the mask first on yourself and then on the neighbor. So that's what we are doing during this time. It's important to create safe spaces for sharing thoughts and feelings during this time. So that's basically it. And yeah, I'd like to wish you to stay curious, up to date, embrace the flow of ideas, and remember to nurture both your mind and your heart and your emotions through this energetic season.
Yeah. Thank you, Anastasiia. Christine, anything you'd like to add in recapping?
Well, I would also just say at the end of this Gemini period from like the 13th to the 18th, it's another place where we have this full, Earth, everybody on the planet has this one channel of what we call openness, right? So the sun is in gate 12, which is again a throat energy like we've talked about. And then just about that time, and we haven't talked about it, I think this might be another piece, but the nodes, the north and south node, have shifted, right? And as they've shifted, the north node is in gate 22, which is the completion of this channel. And so this is an emotional manifesting channel that everybody on the planet is going to have, right? And so if you've only heard one word from me this Gemini season, it's emotional, emotional and experiences, right? And so there's this channel is a lovely channel. It's called the channel of, it's a sociability channel. It's called, about being social, essentially. It doesn't always work that way because it's very much the emotional wave is the decider, right? So you're either in the mood to be social or you're not, right? So paying attention to this energy at the end of this month, like it may be there for you or it may not be. Same for the other person in your life, right? So just giving us all grace. And gate 22 is about giving ourselves grace. So yeah, I think it's a really amazing period, but overall, it's a very activating period. There's a lot of activation among all of us. And so just being aware of that, I think might be really helpful.
How about you, Lois?
It to me, it feels like a really good time to be mindful about our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And things about how we're feeling, how we're treating ourselves, how we're treating other people, and then sort of how that impacts how they treat us in return. It's like Anastasiia, when you were talking about not taking things personally. And that's something I work with people on a lot because we do take things so personally. And most of the time, they're not about us. They're about the person who said or did whatever they did. So maybe a practice in there would be recognizing that maybe something's just up for that other person and they've expressed their emotions towards us, but to recognize that it isn't probably really about us, and that sometimes the people that are closest to us know what buttons to push. And that to be mindful that we're not pushing other people's buttons.
Yeah, beautiful. As I listen to all of you, my metaphor for all this is really the land and the garden and the forests that are so much a part of my everyday. And as we move through spring, there is this buildup of energy, no doubt. And what we're talking about is really the last weeks of spring here, right? Up till just a few days beyond summer solstice. And this first period actually corresponds so beautifully with this impatience in the garden, because you've put all these plants in and you're like, why aren't you growing? Why aren't you doing something? Could you, maybe I need to put fertilizer, maybe I need to emit, right? And it's this tension of, yes, they have their own timing and to pull back. And then all of a sudden, everything comes alive at once, and you don't know where to put your energy. This is blooming. That needs this. That needs to be staked. This needs to be dug. And so then that moves us right into that next period. And honestly, my experience has been now as we move to summer solstice, things settle in. Oh, everything now has come into its own pace. There is an integration. And I think we see that whether it's a cultivated garden or a forest setting. We're going to see those same things. And of course, they would play out in nature. Of course, that's the perfect teacher for us. But for those of you that maybe, thinking of the stars and the transits, is a bit much, I think you could just step outside and look at what's happening in the landscape.
Perfect analogy.
I love that.
Great. Great. Well, ladies, listen, what a group of wisdom here. And I think such a rich conversation for folks to take apart in pieces and as they can digest it. And Christine, thank you very much for time stamping things so folks can move through it as they wish. And Anastasiia, thank you so much again for taking time out of your schedule, creating such a beautiful outline for us to follow and guiding us through this Gemini season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Lois and Christine.
Yeah, thank you.